Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you from the KnowledgeHut team. Very good morning, good evening, good afternoon to wherever you've joined us from. And we're glad to have you here with us today. Before we begin, as you might know, that the topic for today's session is developing a relentless improvement culture and learning organization, for which I would like to introduce our speaker for today, who's Mr. Mansoor Mohammed, who comes with an 18 years of experience and commercial industry knowledge in portfolio, program, and project management, with the ability to continually define structure and deliver high profile, high value, complex, and challenging work programs. Mansoor has demonstrated the ability to lead diverse teams of professionals to new levels of success in a variety of highly competitive organizations, cutting edge markets, and fast paced environments through training, mentoring, and counseling. Needless to mention, but Mansoor is also an integral part of the Knowledge Hut team and has been with us for a long time, delivering some really high value and great sessions to our audience. And without any further delay, I would like to hand the session over to him so that he will take us through it. So, Mansoor, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for such kind words, Sushil. And that was a good introduction. I've been with KnowledgeHut for a very long time, and I've been involved with Scaled Agile for almost a decade, close to a decade. So my journey with Scaled Agile and KnowledgeHut almost goes parallel. Even before it was KnowledgeHut, the previous name, it used to be called as Connaissance Hut, then it became KnowledgeHut, and the journey goes on. So this is me with Dean Liffingwell, who's the chief methodologist, who was in Sydney, I guess in 2013, around, yeah, about 2013, 14. That was SAFE, I think 2. SAFE 3.0. That's the time my journey started. So as Sushil mentioned, I'm a consultant and also a trainer. I help lead organizations with agile transformation, and my topic of research and my research area is about agile governance. I talk about how governance can be implied for agile projects, or should we need a governance mechanism, or how does it work? So if you just go to Google Scholar and type my name, you will find some interesting reads and interesting papers. Um, I, yeah, that's about me, and I teach MBA programs in university on Mondays. So yeah, that's a little about me, and let's move forward. In this session, it's just not going to be a lecture or podcast. We will have some activities also defined for you guys. So let's see how we go. We'll open the floor to check from participants, where do they see their organization actually being in this particular arena of agility. So in today's session, we'll be talking about developing relentless improvement. So we need to have a continuous learning culture. Okay, so as Deming said, plan, do, check, act, right? So we look for a relentless and continuous improvement culture and to build a learning organization. Okay, so organizations need to be learning organization where we have people who are part of the learning system, right? So they continuously learn, they continuously teach others, they continuously mentor. So that part of the organization is very important. And to build a culture of relentless improvement and to build a learning organization, it's very important for the leadership team to support to be a learning organization, right? Give people time to actually go ahead, retrospect, introspect, and see how things can be changed. Uh, because the most important thing is change, right? So we need to see how can we change for the better. What is the process? What is the system? How things can change? How things can improve? Those things play a very, very important role. All right, without wasting time, let's get straight into the show. So every business is a software business. Achieving a state of business agility means that the entire organization, not just development, is engaged in continual and proactive delivering innovative business solution faster than its competitors. So he's Dean Liffingwell. He's the creator of SAFE. I had an opportunity to, being mentored by him. So he says but in my research, I do mention it's just not the software or the hardware, it is the humanware. Okay, so many companies in traditional industries are becoming software companies. The banks, the insurance companies, the automotives, and more, all are affected by some way or the other with software, right? uh, Most capital investments include technology, components regardless of the company's size. So there's a big spend happening in the technology space. Achieving a state of business agility means all the aspects of the business, including marketing, sales, HR, procurements, quality, they all move towards agile. The leadership team, the portfolio management, they all move towards agility. The biggest struggle which is happening today is a lot of the teams at the bottom have gone agile, but the program and the portfolio layer still stays traditional. Achieving a sense of business agility is achieving agility at all different levels because the organization has to move in a flow. The business can get only as faster as it gets slowest part. In short, what we are saying is there need to be a shift in mindset. Okay, that's very important, and that needs to come from the leadership team. Okay, so when I do agile transformation consulting and all these engagements, I start off with the leadership team. I start off with a half a day executive briefing program. Okay, and from there on, I start looking at how do we change the culture of the organization. Because you might have heard that culture eats strategy for breakfast. Okay, so that's where it is. And we look at how we move the whole enterprise towards agility, right? How do we move our digital system towards agile? How do we get our finance to agile? Can we have participatory budgeting? How do we get our marketing to go agile? How would we get our legal system, the operations, right? How do we have agility in our contracting? Okay, so those things are very important to build a lean, agile enterprise. Okay, so this series of webinar, we covered the lean portfolio management, right? We covered lean leadership, organization agility, and now we are looking at a continuous learning culture. So we are going one by one as we go. So this is fifth in the series of our webinars. And for an organization to go agile, as we mentioned, we need to get all the different areas to go agile, plus they all need to be bound together by customer centricity. Okay, so there's only one boss, who's the customer. The customer can hire everyone or fire any one of us. So to achieve business agility, the organization requires a significant degree of expertise across the 7 core competencies, which each competency can deliver value independently. They're also interdependent. In the true business agility can be present only when enterprise achieves a meaningful state of mastery in competency, right? So that is where it is important. Lean leadership is very important. Customer centricity is very important. The delivery mechanism, which is agile product delivery, is important. Team and technical agility is important. Enterprise solution delivery is important, right? So lean portfolio management, where we think like, delivering through, value streams and having operational value streams play a very important role. Now let's assess your organization. Okay, so to create an opportunity of critical thinking, it's important for lean mindset. Okay, and we all need to know, where are we? Okay, so can I check with the participants and have a quick shout as to where does your organization rank in these dimensions? Okay, so where are they in value delivery, respect for people and culture, flow, innovation, relentless improvement, and leadership? If you have a score below 3, you could give me an example as to why do you think it's below 3. If it's 3 and above, 4 and 5, that is fine. Okay, so a lot of organizations in my consulting experience are low at value delivery. Okay, because they want to pick up everything. Okay, they don't know which one is high value and high priority work. Priority is fine. People can easily put a priority between high, medium, or low. Moscow model, that's fine. But a lot of organizations struggle to define what is value and define what is value driven delivery and actually pick up the high value. Okay, and that is because most of the organizations portfolio management want them to do that work rather than thinking about value. So having a value stream map, value delivery method, right, will help organization pick up high value items. And there is something called a weighted shortest job first, which will help you define what is value and how value is defined which has got some components such as risk return, opportunity enablement, right? And you have the job size. You'll consider all that to see what is value and which is the weighted shortest job first, which ones you have to actually do. The second, respect for people and culture. Very good at team levels. Teams, small teams, 5 to 9, they respect for people. They have a good culture, working culture. But again, when it comes to the program and portfolio management, organizations struggle with it. I have seen a lot of 2s and 3s here because that's very important, because they may have all the agile processes at the team level, but if you have a project manager or a program manager, I'm not saying it's not okay to have a project or a program manager, but if you have a project or a program manager coming up with traditional thinking and keeps pushing the team for when are you going to deliver, what date, and keep talking about the scope, time, cost, quality constraints, right? Then it becomes a big challenge. The next on the flow, I have seen organizations okay with the flow, but again, there are some bottlenecks in the process. Okay, so some organizations are dependent on other team members, and that could inhibit the process. Okay, so I've seen flow being impacted. Now, for improving the flow, we have got something called value stream mapping. Okay, so I go to organizations and I create an as is process, a to be process, and then I see how we can actually map from the as is process to a to be process. So that is very important. A lot of organizations talk about innovation as a motherhood statement. Okay, they love talking innovation. They go depth and breadth talking about innovation, but when it actually comes, when we talk about an assessment in an organization about innovation, they lack, because the people are just running about doing the day-to-day work and trying to hit one deliverable after the other deliverable. They don't have breathing time. Okay, they forget innovation. They forget what innovation is. Great ideas are just there in the minds of the people, never get to execute. It could be a small change which could improve someone's life, or a way of working, or improve process. Many organizations struggle with innovation. So at EMC, we had a process called innovation life cycle, and we used to encourage people to come with ideas, rank those ideas, use those ideas uh, for either developing into a value stream, or any of these things. That's important. Having that breather, having that some time for hackathons, those play a very important role in a learning organization. Okay, so a learning organization will respect for people, look at value delivery, and also provide time for innovation, because people will be just running from one to another, right? They need some breather, they need time, they need to think what they can deliver something differently, right? Because they have to come out from the rut. Relentless improvement. This is one area where a lot of organizations struggle, because they feel that they have reached the pinnacle of the delivery, or whatever the best process is. They try to get into that, and they think that it cannot be improved. So it's always important for us to get into relentless improvement, and also leadership. Okay, so leaders are very important. You are a leader, everyone is a leader. You need to look at how can you execute. It doesn't mean you need to have a swanky title like a CIO, a CTO, or a CFO, or a director. Everyone is a leader. Okay, you need to be empowered, you need to provide that leadership to your teams, within your teams, right? And within your span of control. Yes, we have leadership at all different levels, but everyone can be a leader. Everyone can have that self knowledge to how to actually lead people, whether it could be teaching a new technology. In EMC, we had something called, I go back to my EMC days, uh, which is Dell EMC now, where we talk about if someone had gone for a training or a webinar, they would come back. So that is very important. So to create opportunities for critical thinking, it's important for lean mindset and current position of every local context. So what your team stands, how it embraces agility, and how can you actually improve. So when I go into these consulting engagements, I give a roadmap for teams and organizations to move from either 2 to a 3, or 3 to a 4, or 4 to a 5. Any questions, team here? Any questions on the chat? Anyone? All good?
All good, Mansoor.
All right, let's move a little further. Okay, so a continuous learning organization. So everyone in the organization learns, they grow together. It's not just about me or you. It's a we culture, not a me culture. Okay, they explore, they be creative. They're part of the organization's DNA. So as an organization's DNA, they grow together, they learn together, they explore, and they are creative, right? They continuously improve on solutions. They make solutions better. A continuous learning competency describes a set of values and practices that encourage individuals and enterprise to continually increase the knowledge, right? But they increase the knowledge, they increase the performance. Uh, that's achieved by organizations becoming a learning organization to commit, right? So employees at every level are committed for not only their growth, but their team's growth. Okay, so that's very important. And employees at every level learn, grow. So when I joined EMC, I had my thoughts as to what I need to contribute to the organization and what I need to learn from the organization. That was very important. Employees are encouraged, they're empowered to explore, implement creative ideas, enable future value, right? While implementing these ideas, you should not fear of things such as throw away, right? Sometimes things you need to throw away. It's fine. Fail fast is fine. Failure is fine, right? So, but you need to learn from that failure. That's very important. You cannot just keep failing and failing and failing. Relentless improvement. Every part of enterprise focus on continuously improving its solution, product, and process. Okay. So that is very, very important. So organizations need to be a learning organization. They need to have an innovative culture. Relentless improvement should be part of the DNA, what they want. Make sure you understand the whole process. Okay. A learning organization would always be built on customer centricity. Okay. Because your customer is not willing to wait for a long time. They want organizations to quickly adapt. Okay. Customer centric organizations that generate greater profits, increase employment engagement, and satisfy customers. Right. So they're very customer centric. They're resilient, sustainable, and aligned to need to fulfill their mission. So make sure the people understand the whole product. They understand the they not only just understand a product, but the links of the product. Okay, that's very important. And there is a theory which plays a very important role. So there is a theory which talks about, if you show me the product, okay, if you show me the product, I will tell you how well this product was built based upon the interaction of the people. Okay, so that's very important. So you need to understand as a whole. You need to understand what your customers' need are. As I mentioned earlier, there's only one boss, who's the customer. The customer can hire us or fire us, and that's it. So to develop a customer centric mindset, it's you need to focus on your customer segment to align and focus on enterprise. Understand the customer's needs. Okay, so it's easy to understand the customer's said needs, what the customers say, but also to capture what is unsaid is also important. Okay, so you need to move beyond just merely listening to customer who ask for features. You need to think like a customer. Okay, you need to build the whole product and solution through what customer needs. Customer centric enterprise design a complete solution for users need, ensuring that the initial and long term experience of customer always ideal and evolving need. Know your customer's lifetime value. Customer centric enterprise move beyond a transactional mentality and instead focusing on creating long term relationship based on clear and accurate understanding of how the customer derives value from the solution. Okay, so that's very important. You need to understand the customer needs. You need to focus on the customer. You need to think like the customer. You need to know the customer's lifetime value. You need to build whole product solutions. So everything is about customer. Okay, so it's very important to understand. So we used to have focus groups. We used to have sessions with our customer. We used to have customer council at EMC, right? And they used to tell us what our competitors are doing. Okay, So the customers who love you, they will tell you what the competitors are and how the market looks like. Okay, so that's very important. So you need to understand their lifetime value, customer centricity. You need to move beyond transactional mentality instead of focusing on creating long-term relationship based on clear and accurate understanding on how customer derives value from the solution. Any questions?
I guess we do have a question. Could you please talk some more about knowing the customer lifetime value? A
Okay,
practical example, please. And it's
yeah,
by
sure.
Adora.
Adora. Thank you, Adora. That's a very good question. Knowing customers' lifetime value. Okay. So why will the customer love the product? For example, you are familiar with a brand. Okay. So for example, it could be brand anything, Oracle, EMC, or even a Zara. Okay, if you want to look for it. So why will a customer who loves the brand move to another brand? Okay. So you need to understand, will your customer stay with you for lifetime? Because when you talk about customer, there are three categories which you can define. Okay, one is your promoter. Okay, the promoter, they love your product, they love the service, they love what you do, and they're really a fan of yours. Okay, like how you people have joined this webinar despite your busy time and schedule, right? So you value this time, you feel that there is some knowledge coming out. There are some people who are passives. They're in the middle. Okay, they don't know whether which way they want to go. Today they are happy with iPhone. Tomorrow, if there's a new technology coming in Samsung, they might move to Samsung. And day after tomorrow, there could be Huawei or something else coming in, so they could move towards that. Okay, and the third, there'll be the detractors, the people who don't love your product itself. Okay, so these are again from the NPS view. So you need to know exactly how can you retain your customers. Okay, can you retain your customers for a long time? What is the next thing in a product or service? If you give them, will they stick to you? Will they love the product? Okay, a simple example I can give you. I do buy many products, but if I have an option to the company to buy back my product, I would love to use it. Okay, I'm a big Samsung fan. Okay, my wife uses iPhone, I use Samsung. Okay, we always have conversation as to which is good, which is better. I love Samsung because of the innovative ideas and how the new technology comes in, right? So I'm a long life Samsung customer. Okay, but she loves iPhone for her own reasons. That's fine. That's all right. It doesn't mean that she has to come. But when she saw Note 22, the new Samsung, not the exactly new, the new one is coming in September. But when we just happened to go to a store uh, last weekend and she saw Samsung and she said, it's so much improved. I think I need to shift. So there is a touch point, there is a tip point for your customer to see what the price point is, what the value they're getting, and what is offered to them. And there's a beautiful research called Kano analysis. So Kano analysis talk about the uh, the exciters and delighters of your customers, what they want. So today, exciters and delighters can become mandatory over a period of time. I hope I answered the question. I know it was a little long answer, but thank you so much. I think we can move on. All right.
Please.
So what is design thinking? So learning organizations do have design thinking. Okay, so a traditional waterfall approach to product development is pretty sequential. Okay, uh, requirements are defined, solutions are designed, built, delivered to market. The focus tends to be on most apparent problems. Often success is determined by implementing a solution that meets customers' need. A design thinking represents profoundly a different approach to product and solution. So they think like a whole, they have great ideas, right? So there's a problem space where you understand the problem, you discover doing Gemba walk. Gemba is go and see the process, okay? Going and seeing the process. Uh, Consider what happens when you do it well, you do Gemba walks, and then you diverge, and then you converge again using user personas. Okay, as a user, how would you see? Say for example, Tom is a tech savvy person, so you would create a user persona for Tom, who's a tech savvy person. You would create um, Susan, who could not be a so tech savvy person, so you would do that. Also have empathy maps, right? So then my next slide is about empathy maps. I'll talk about empathy maps. Your customer journey maps. How does your customer actually traverse through the journey? Story mapping, prototyping. So using design thinking, we look at if it is desirable, viable, and feasible. Design thinking is clear and continuous understanding of target market, customers, the problem they are facing, the jobs to be done. Okay, so that is what design thinking is all about. Let's look at the first one, okay, which is empathy map. Has anyone seen this before? Can just put on the chat or unmute. So using an empathy map, basically when developing the products and service, we are looking at who are we empathizing with, okay? Who's the person we want to understand? What is the situation they are in? What is the role in the situation? What do they need to do, okay? What do they need to do differently? What job they want to get done, okay? What do they see? What do they get to see in the marketplace, okay? Uh, what do they hear from the environment, okay? What are they watching and reading? What do they say? What do they do? Okay, so in an empathy map, we basically look at what are the pains and the gains of the customer. How do they feel? What do they do? So when I delivered this program, which is a 2-day program, I do ask my teams to go in and take a look at the empathy maps and start looking at how empathy maps actually. Any thoughts, comments on this? So the next, as I mentioned, is the customer journey map. Okay, the customer journey map or user journey map helps organizations to design the products using a customer journey map. Okay, so once a young couple decides to buy a house, okay, they learn about the mortgage, they calculate the budget, they do a property search, they compare mortgage, apply mortgage loan, assessment is done, sign contracts and deal, and they move on. So basically, you're looking the whole value stream from a couple perspective, from a thinking and feeling perspective. Okay, what did they love? So about buying this house, they stayed in the whole neighborhood, right? The real estate agent will save money, real estate agent help, right? What did not like, okay? And what did they really hate, okay? Can we really find a home which we love, can afford? Can we fill in a form? Can this be online, right? And also what the bank does, okay? The bank explains the product, prepares an offer, advises select real estate, fills application or copies ID, right? Have a credit department and customer service. And similarly, the technology opportunities where you can actually automate this and make a home loan process, automation where the data is gathered from various sources, and again, it can be quickly the outcome can be quickly completed using biometrics authentication, automating referral partners, whatever, right? So that could happen. So basically, a customer journey map designs the whole journey of your customer from when your customer enters a system until they exit. Okay, the whole system. So that's where the customer journey maps actually work. Any thoughts? Good. So a customer journey map will illustrate the experience as a user engages with company's operational value stream, product and service. As shown in example, journey maps are powerful design thinking tools for operational value stream. They allow teams to identify ways in which specific deliverables of one or more development value stream can improve to create a better end user experience. Okay, so that's very, very important. All right. Finally, for innovation, as I mentioned, okay, it's very important to have those breathers. Okay. So in the SAFE framework, we have 5 iterations or 5 sprints. Okay. So the last iteration or the last sprint is for innovation planning. Okay. Innovation planning iteration occurs in the last iteration and serves multi-purpose. It acts as an estimating buffer for meeting PI requirements. Um, and also, when I say PI, it's program increment objectives and provide dedicated time for innovation, continuous education, for inspect and adapt. And SAFE has got a very intense focus on continuously delivering customer value. and people are busy working on the features they're committed. So every iteration counts, and the team is heads down delivering, the near-term value, one iteration after another. So solution uh, matches closer to the market. The attention, the attention on the solution delivery is intense, of course. So you need to be focused, but also you need to go ahead and try to innovate, create hackathons where you get people. It's not like a star chambered conversation where people are just focused on just deliverables and things like that, but it's more like interactive and a way where it can actually. Does your organization support any of these types of innovation planning iterations or something like that? Quickly on the chat, please, if that works. I hope you can see some elements of uh, what I'm talking in your organization, I guess.
Mansoor, Danielle says no.
No, okay, no problem. If it's no, then there's an opportunity for improvement, right? So we can always look at how you're organized. See, there are a few things in your control. There's a few things which are not in your control, right? So whatever is in your control, you try to look at it and you see how you can actually do it. Uh, so that is important.
Mansoor,
Okay,
also, Inamullah
yeah,
Khan says that we're starting something like this, which was to your previous question.
okay. Congratulations. That's great. Congratulations. Good. If you need any assistance, give us a shout. From Knowledge Hut, we also deliver consulting engagements. Okay, so please do reach me out. Reach KnowledgeHut out. We'll be more than happy to assist you in this transformation journey. Okay. So what happens without innovation planning iteration? Um, there'll be burnout, little innovation. You'll keep jumping from one oven to another oven. You'll just be jumping. Technical debt will start growing, right? So things will get piled up. So when I say technical debt, the activities or work from one iteration will get piled up to the second and the third and the fourth. It just keeps adding. People will get burnout, no time for teams to plan, demo, improve together, right? So that could really happen, and lack of delivery capacity or impact on predictability is a problem. Okay, so innovation planning will give teams breather. It'll provide teams to go ahead and think further, try to design new solutions, right? It could be new solution or an enhancement, okay, or a small change, right? Or maybe a small process improvement, okay, or maybe a need for training, okay? So all could be there, so that is very important. So organizations need to innovate so that they can actually live and they can survive. All right, that's great. And for that, you need leadership support, and also you need to take a step forward. Okay, it's very important for you to take a step forward and move forward and see how this actually can stack up. So as a consultant, when I go to an organizations, I do these assessments. Okay, I create a high-level summary using business agility assessment, go deeper with 7 core competencies, analyze results to identify opportunities for improvement, right? Measure and grow is the way for portfolio evaluating the progress. So basically in business agility assessment, we talk about team and technical agility, uh, build in quality. How do we build in quality using definition of done, definition of ready, right? Pair programming, pair work, right? Those concepts, team of agile teams, which is nothing but scrum of scrums. Okay, so business agility assessment provides uh, an enterprise to understand where are they in the current journey, okay, and how they can move from level 0 to 1, from pre-crawling to crawling to walking to running to flying. Okay, so these are the terminologies we use. Okay, how do we move an organization from pre-crawling to a crawling, like how a baby crawls, from crawling to even standing up, okay, from standing up to even walking, from walking to walking faster or running, right, and then flying. Similarly, we do this for DevOps, which is Agile Product Delivery, Enterprise Solution Delivery, where we talk about coordinating trains and suppliers, building live systems. The LPM area, where we'll talk about lean governance, uh, you know, uh, mindset and principles, leading change, strategy, agility, right? So on and so forth. So basically, when I go to an organization, I interview with many people, with the business leaders. I spend time with the teams, understanding what is their understanding of what agility is, right? A lot of organizations do have a misconception of what agile is and what agile is not. All right, and then we start putting up a roadmap and an action plan saying that how do we move, which are the core important parts of your system which needs to change, right? From where do we start? Do we start top down, bottoms up, right? Or start both top down, bottom up and see how it goes to the middle, right? So that's very important so that you can actually measure and grow towards business agility. Any questions here on this last
Mansoor,
slide?
yes, a quick question. Inamullah Khan has a question. How is the assessment done? He asks.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, so I do have some tools, okay, which is being provided as a consultant, right? And I do change those tools based upon the organization need. Okay, so my first step is in the assessment. What I do is I get a senior leadership endorsement. I have a conversation with the leadership team, right? And I talk to the business unit leads, talking about where are you in these competencies. Okay, I do have my own, data analysis tools where I upload the recordings and conversations, and I do some sentiment analysis, and then I do some surveys. Okay, from the interview analysis and the surveys, the data what I get, I feed it in, and then I know where is there. There is a list of questions. Okay, so each segment has got a list of questions. Then I look at the, I ask those questions. I ask people to fill those surveys questions, and from that data analysis, doing a qualitative and quantitative analysis. I, being a researcher, I do have a lot of different tools to identify the sentiments of the people, whether they're positive, negative, moderately positive, or negative, right? And then I key those results into the radars charts. And again, it is not what directly this is, but it changes from context to context. And then I provide a report to the leadership team, and from there on, the leadership team decides as to which way going forward, whether it's top down, bottoms up. Once I get a thumbs up from them, then I start looking at should the teams be trained on agile, agility, and so on, or the leadership should be trained, right? And I lead uh, by starting value streams, identifying the value streams, right? Training the scrum masters, product owners, release train engineers, right? Uh, Doing the pre-PI planning, right? What happens before the PI planning? Set up the PI planning, and run a couple of PI plannings before I hand it off to a release train engineer and move to the next business unit. This is how the assessment is done and the process taken forward. All right. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any comments?
There's one question, Mansoor. What is
Sure.
POPM? It's by
Okay,
Inamullah Khan.
product owner, yeah, product owner, product management. Okay, so basically in SAFe we got many programs. Okay, the first is leading SAFe. Leading SAFe is very elementary. It talks about the holistic view of SAFe. Okay, talking from the team level, program level, and the portfolio level. The advanced scrum master, okay, a safe advanced scrum master is about a little more than what a scrum master does, but not what an RT does. But in the product owner, product management, we'll talk about how do you actually define a solution. Okay, we will talk about how do we even get to a program increment planning. So this talks from a product owner, product management perspective. Thanks for highlighting. In my next session I will write the full name so that we can understand. That's a good take. Thank you for that. Okay, good. Sushil has posted the link for knowledgehut.com. Please go in, right? There'll be exciting discounts. I'm not promising any discounts, but I'm sure KnowledgeHut will take care of you as our valued customers and valued attendees. Okay, so you'll definitely get a great session from myself. So yeah, I look forward to meet you there in the real sessions. If you're not able to make in the August sessions, we have some sessions at the end of August and even September, right? So please do make time because it's very important. As a learning organization, our organization should move towards learning, but as a first step, we should be educated how to move our organization towards a learning organization, right? So if someone comes in and says, okay, your organization has to move towards a learning organization, first the team members have to be educated first. It starts from you first, okay, and then starts building. Well, thank you, team, and I hope I added value in your journey, in your learning journey, right? So we need to start looking at how do we actually go in and move forward and add value to what we are actually doing for our organization. Okay.
Certainly. And Mansoor, also Inamullah Khan says, perfect. Thanks for the nice session, Mansoor.
Thank you, Namula.
Great.
Happy to
So
host you. Thank
once
you.
again, a big heartfelt thank you to our speaker, that's Mansoor Mohammed. Took out some time to deliver this valuable session and gave us great insights on today's topic. Also, would like to appreciate our audience who interacted with us today. I hope we were able to sort your queries out and also clear any of your doubts. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll be more than happy to respond to you. And we hope to see you for the next session as well. So until then, I wish you all a good day and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you very much. Take care.